Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim Down for Living with MS in Tenerife with a quick update. I know Andrew has just dropped a video with the same information in it, but I'd planned this, so I'm going to go ahead with it anyway. I've also opened my my room. If you want to pop in and do ask a question, go to timothydow.com/live, L-I-V-E, and follow the instructions there. Make sure you got a decent connection, Wi-Fi, so broadband connection, so that you won't be going up on again. And I'm going to go and read through the interpretation by Janet Anscombe. I was talking to her last night and this morning, and she's allowed me to read out basically her interpretation, and then I can answer your questions as I see fit. As always, it's always my opinion and not the law. If it's the law, then learn Spanish, read it, and interpret it yourself. But I'm going to do the best I can for those of you who can't do that or don't have the time to do that. And it doesn't answer all the questions, by the way, so don't expect an answer for every question. So I'm going to take this off, and I'll put the COVID thing on. There you go. So just see how many people are online. Okay, we got 54 people online. I knew this is what's the word, ad hoc. So Brandon says hi. Willie Rushton's on there. Roger's there. Christina's resting at the moment. She's not out. I hope you and Christina are well. We're fine, thank you. Neil, Gary, Davenport, Alan's there. No, Aaron. Hi, Aaron. I got your email. You did support the channel at one point, I remember. So you will be named when I do the thank you for the new microphone thing. Okay. Hi, Tim. Hello. And John Bauer. Hi. And Brandon Blaze, what happens if you don't get a test on time? Okay, I'll come to your questions in a minute. If you're going to write a question, if you're just going to say hi, just say hi. If you really want a question, then tag me. So at Living with MS Tenerife, Living with MS in Tenerife, and it should be highlighted then. Or you could do a super chat and then it comes up, but that costs you $1 or however much you want to give. Okay, so I won't be able to see it because I'm using the same thing for your questions I am going to read. So here's the interpretation, hopefully. It came out this morning. It's called a BOC, which stands for Boletín Oficial de Canarias, which is the official bulletin of the Canary Islands. And let me get this up ready. All on the iCloud, COVID law on tests. Okay, so Diana McGowan actually did the translation, or a translation, and updated that this morning, so a lot of you may have seen that one. And Janet Anscombe has done a translation and also an interpretation. And the interpretation is what I'm going to read, because reading the actual law and the translation of the law is... well, I found it difficult to understand even in English. So she's done a great job here. So I thought, why should I do any different? I'm just going to read it out to you guys, and then I'm going to take questions. If you do want to come into the room, you will see join room or waiting for somebody to join. If you're the second person, you won't get in because I've only paid for one person at a time. But as soon as the first person leaves, the second person can jump in. Okay, so she said, I know Diana's posted the links and translation and the decree, but I thought an interpretation in a case that it helps. So then she goes on to say, the decree is a single measure to establish a regime for access to tourist accommodation. The Canarian government cannot control its international borders because that's not a devolved power. But it can control tourism, which is. As such, the Canarian government says that its measures in this decree are within its powers to control tourism and restrict access to tourist accommodation. The decree will remain in place until further notice. This means that these measures are related only to those staying in regulated touristic accommodation, i.e. hotels, touristic complexes, apartments and residential properties registered for holiday letting under the Vivienda Vacacional scheme, so VV, FAO. Any and all international arrivals in Spain, however, have to provide a passenger location form and track and trace, either on paper or in digital form, and that's what you've been having to do anyway for the past few months anyway. This means that anyone letting out unregulated holiday accommodation, i.e. illegal lets, is putting themselves at enormous risk. Firstly for illegal letting, and secondly for putting up tourists without the mandatory test that all tourists have to provide. Fines for violation of emergency health measures run into many tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands. And she goes on to say, I'm just saying what the situation is. So she's not trying to panic anybody. She's just trying to say, be aware of what laws you may or may not be breaking if you're letting out your private accommodation to holidaymakers. I don't think that covers friends and family if they come and visit you, or if you give them the key for your apartment that you own. So that's my interpretation. But just be careful of, I think nowadays there's going to be a big push for people to say, oh, come to me, you don't need a test. Just be careful of that. So the legislation provisions are as follows. A test certifying that any visitor over the age of 6 is not positive for COVID-19 is required before they are allowed to access their tourist accommodation. This test is described as a test de diagnóstico de infección activa, which is a diagnostic test of active infection, which is the official generic name of this type of test. The term is used because different tests are constantly being developed by researchers, some more reliable and easier to carry out than others, and the specific test is therefore less important than it would be being one that diagnoses an active infection. So the question whether it was the PCR test or the antigen test, or whether it's going to cost 120 euros or 30 euros, that it doesn't matter anymore. You get whatever test you want, as long as it, where are we? As long as it tests for active infection, okay? And I'm sure that the people who are doing the test will be able to tell you whether that is true or not. The test certification can be provided in digital or paper form and must show the identity of the person tested, the lab doing the testing, and the negative result. It must also show by means of date and time that it was carried out a maximum of 72 hours before arrival in the Canary Islands. I know this is an issue, so that means that the tests must be done before getting here, so you have to factor in time to get the results and fly here. The test should be done before the visitor leaves the country of origin, but can be done here in designated places prior to the visitor accessing their accommodation. Tourist establishments will be responsible for telling them where they can get the test and are required to deny access to any visitor not complying with the decree's regulations. In the case of a visitor without a test certificate, but who is prepared to get one immediately, they can allow access to the accommodation overnight, and the visitor must remain under lockdown except to go to the test centre and get the results, with the established legally liable for violation. Or the establishment is legally liable for violation. That means the hotel is legally liable for you doing what you're told. And that's where the hundreds and thousands of pounds comes in. Deny any visitors, prepared immediately, establishment liable. Anyone who gets a positive result in a test carried out will be required to stay in isolating accommodation. And they've actually decided they're going to take over the whole of the ITER biometric climate bungalows. There's 24 of them, sleeping 100 people. They don't expect they're going to need more than that, but if they do, Ash Hotels has also offered accommodation on the same basis. So that means that if you are found positive whilst you're here, you will be looked after. And I've put a link on the McMaster site, and I'll put a link in this description when I'm finished for that. For those bungalows, and they are quite nice actually, so it's not like you're going to be put up in some sort of hostel or something. But we hope that it doesn't come to that. Okay. Tourist establishments are responsible for getting visitors to make a formal agreement of compliance and verifying the certification they provide on accessing their accommodation, and from now on for telling people at the point of booking the requirements. So that means they have to inform people who've already booked, and they have to inform people before they book from now on. They must also have signs and notices at least 5 languages with information in the reception areas. These must include the requirements for visitors to download a COVID app which is called COVID radar, and to keep it on the phone for the whole of the vacation and 15 days following their return home. So that means that this certification and the access to the accommodation is also dependent on you doing that. Just make sure people can hear me. Dink, dink, dink. So people are saying hi. Thank you, Tim. Hi from Scotland. Afternoon. Nice one, Tim. Thanks for putting our minds at ease. Okay, I'll get to those. I'll get to those soon, very soon. Okay, back to this. Where are we? Tourist establishment responsible for getting the visitors. Okay. Residents who are staying in a tourist accommodation but who have already been to the Canaries for 15 days can instead make a formal legal declaration for Sanidad records that they have not left the islands and that the period that they have not had the symptoms for that time. They will have to supply a residence registration document as well. Non-residents can also make the declaration if they've been here for a fortnight already, but will be required to show travel documents to prove it. If they cannot produce the registry or TIE, which is the Tarjeta Identificación Extranjero, which is your identification number. This is because they will already have been here for the period for which they could be expected to become ill and therefore represent no risk to Sanidad's capacity. Nevertheless, given the epidemiological uncertainty of the pandemic abroad as well as here, the regional government can modify this rule to make tests compulsory in these cases too. That also means if you're island hopping, so if you're going from Tenerife to La Gomera, or if you're going on a vacation to Gran Canaria, then you don't have to retest when you hit another island. As long as you don't leave the autonomous community of the island of Canarias, then you should be okay. Okay. Although not applicable at the moment, should the UK require those returning home to have test results or go into quarantine, this decree requires tourist establishments here to advise people where they can get such a test if they need one. So that means if, for instance, you've arrived and Britain says, okay, we want everybody arriving to have a test as well, then the tourist accommodation is legally bound to tell you where you can get a test and help you get one. Tourist establishments are responsible for keeping records of all certifications, compliances and statements, etc. for Sanidad under data protection rules. And the decree will be law tomorrow, which is Sunday, which is the day after publication, and will apply to tourist accommodation arrivals from 10 working days after that. And by Janet's calculation, she said that's Friday the 13th of November. I don't know whether that includes Friday the 13th or after the Friday the 13th, because I'm not sure whether there's a holiday in the next week. But it's 10 working days after that. So let's just say if you arrive before Friday the 13th, it doesn't affect you whatsoever. After that, you will be required to show a certificate when entering your tourist accommodation. Okay, that was the reading out bit. Oh, I still need this. Okay, so let's go to your questions. Oh, hello everybody. It's a lovely day today. In fact, they did say 30 degrees today, and it was 30 degrees. It was 28 this morning having breakfast. Okay, let's start right at the top. So, Brandon, hi. Tim, oh, you, Christina, yeah, we've done that one. Unexpected appearance from Tim. Jill, thank you. Thank you, Tim. What happens if you don't get a test on time? As I said in the thing, if you haven't tested and you arrive without one, then you need to get one here. And your tourist accommodation is duty-bound by law to tell you exactly where to get it. And if you agree to go and get it, they can't stop you checking in, but you do have to stay in your room until the certificate's in your hand. You can leave for getting the test, and you can leave for picking up the results, but that's it. Patrick, hi from Scotland. That was from Ellen. Cool, just an email having a panic attack. Just sent an email, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Hi, Tim. John Barrow, thank you for giving up your time to explain to us, Tim. John Barrow, thank you very much, and thank you for supporting the channel. That's really, really great of you. Brandon Blade says, what happened to Tenerife? What happening to Tenerife? Are they in there too high? I'm sorry, Brandon, you slipped there on the keyboard. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, what's happening to Tenerife for life? Are they in there too high? I'm not sure what Tenerife for life is. Hi. Are you a homeowner in Tenerife? Do you not have cover for COVID? Thank you, Tim. If you are a homeowner in Tenerife, do you not have cover for COVID? Okay, if you're a homeowner, then you're not classed as a tourist, so therefore you don't come under the AXA COVID insurance, but I'm sure your insurance would cover you if you come here. If it isn't, then make sure you get that before you come. Looks like the BOC is irrelevant if there's for either UK or England. Yeah, the BOC is for everybody, so the whole world. So although England and I think Germany are going into lockdown, or maybe going into lockdown, I heard, I don't know, then this counts for all tourists, so not just the UK. Good afternoon, Tim. Do you know if this is going for a long term? I'm due to come over in August 2021. You know, nobody knows what's going to happen in August 2021, but I think that if the virus is still active at that time and there is no cure or vaccine, then I believe it will stay in as long as necessary. Do you know if it's going? Okay, lockdown. Can't come over to Tenerife, said Aaron. Oh, what a shame. David Bott says, Tim, more info is required on what type of test is required, as currently only 20 boots across the UK are offering PCR tests, so obtaining one will not be that easy. David, as I said in the situation there, they've left it open on purpose because tests are being developed all the time. So basically, you just need to get a test which shows you that you do not have you're not an active case. So as long as the person testing knows what that is, and is able to give you a certificate on that, that's the one you need. And I am sure that somebody will see an opportunity here and create a testing station at a reasonable price for those people. I'm sure that will happen. If it doesn't, then you do it. Hong Kong Fui, #1 super guy. Nice one, Tim. Thanks for putting your mind at ease. You're very welcome. Hi from Cork, says Sean. Couple of thumbs up there. Let's hope they make it easier to get a test here in England. My nearest Boots test farm is over 50 miles away, and I live in that's terrible. I mean, they should make it easier, but as I say, I don't recommend people come here without one. But if there's no other option, if your flight is going before you can get a test, then as I said, there is protocols in place to get tested here. And then Shatskos Company says Nibit Nyp, which I don't speak Russian, I'm afraid, so I hope it says great job, Tim. Thank you. Roger Channing, thank you for the donation. Thanks for the info, Tim, very useful. Hong Kong Fui, the airline you are flying with should provide tests without a price gouging. You know, they did try that to do airports, airlines and hotels to do the testing, but that was pushed back. I think it was some sort of liability problem, I don't know why, but it does say in the law that the hotel is able to get somebody into the hotel to test you. So I think I did read that, although the hotels themselves will not be testing. And from Poland, Przemysław Kizlospolski says hello. John Patron, hi Tim, Hong Kong Fui, PCR false positive will ruin your holiday. I'm afraid so. Sharon Clark, hi Tim, thanks for the information. Good information, thank you very much. Hi Tim, looks like non-essential shops entertainment will be locked down at the weekend in the UK and announced today. Would that include non-essential travel? But who knows? I'm not sure. I'm sure if you can get to an airport, or if the planes are actually flying, you know. I don't know what the FCO is going to put on the website, whether they're going to. Well, I mean, I don't suppose it's anything to do with the Foreign Office, is it? If it's an internal lockdown, you just got to read the government website, and they should be able to tell you what you can and can't do. Just as a personal note, if you're in the UK, if everybody just stayed at home for 21 days, the virus would be gone. So the only way the virus spreads is because people touch each other, touch their mouths and their noses, and it's not to do with wearing masks or you know, being controlled by the government. If you don't come into contact with people for 21 days, it's gone. If everybody did it, everybody. I mean, I know it's not doable, but it is that simple. Non-essential contact with anybody for 21 days, and it's gone. You can see it as it was here in the first wave. When we locked down here, within two months, 8 weeks, We went from thousands of people to 12. So it does work. Anyway, that's my high horse. I shall now get off it. Yay! Okay, hi Tim. Looks like now we've done that one. Can you arrange for a test to be done on arrival? It is compulsory. So if you arrive without a test, they have to tell you where to get one. And they have to put you up until you've done. Is it all the Canarians? Yes. Due to go to Fuerteventura next Saturday, do we have to do coming home on the 17th of November? Doesn't matter if you arrive before the 13th of November. It's not yet in place, so you should be okay. But check with your airline, check with your hotel. But it looks like you're okay. Next Saturday's not the 13th, right? Do you have to pay for the testing yourself? Yes, unfortunately, the cost is to be put onto the person coming. Although, and I don't have any details on this, rumours has it that some hotels are offering to pay for their guests. Now, I'm assuming these are going to be sort of like 5-star hotels where you pay a fortune anyway, and so they can afford to do that. Or hotels that just can't afford to lose the business, I suppose. They'll say, okay, $30 a head is something I can take, and maybe they get a deal with a testing station to get it cheaper. I don't know, but also maybe you can talk to your hotel about that to see if you can come to some arrangement. Okay, are we arriving on Friday the 6th of November? Am I right in thinking you do not require the test? You don't need the test to arrive at the airport anyway. You only need the test to arrive at your hotel, and it doesn't come into effect until about the 13th of November. So you should be okay. Thanks for your time for answering my query. Tenerife fan, you're very welcome. UK going on a month lockdown. What does it cost there for a test? I don't know, but I'm hearing €30 for a test. Querty girl, England expected to go into national lockdown. That means we won't be travelling 3rd of November expected. Okay. I don't know whether you're not allowed or whether it was your decision. But if the flight's flying, there's nothing to stop you. Because even if you are on lockdown, there is no law to stop you. Obviously, if you're in a really high-risk area and you feel like you may have contracted it, then please don't come. So flying anytime from now to the 30th, you don't need the tests. Is that correct? That is what people are saying. As I say, it comes into effect tomorrow, but they were not being forcing it for 10 working days. So if you work out 10 working days after tomorrow, Monday being a working day, then it looks like Friday the 13th. Talk of PCR tests are not accurate. You know, whether they're accurate or not, it's the certificate they're worried about. So if you can get a certificate having 6 tests, one after the other, then the one that gives you the certificate, that's what they'll use. I know that's stupid, but that's what they say. They're not worried whether you take a test or not, they just want the certificate. England's okay, so flying anywhere from, okay, done that one. 179 to get tested in Belfast, very expensive, very expensive. Talks at 4:30, UK lockdown. No one be flying after the Monday lockdown. BBC saying lockdown. Tell the truth, you talk shite, mate, said Clive Gwynn. Thank you, Clive. Hide. Ban. Can we do this? Hide the user on this channel. See you, Clive. Martin Rose, we're due to stay at a friend's apartment on private residence. Does that mean we don't have a test, Tim? Martin, that is true. I would say that if you're not going to a tourist accommodation, there will be nobody at reception. If there's nobody at reception, they can't ask you for the certificate. You do, though, have to fill out the form to say where you're staying and with whom you're staying, and if they are renting it to you and not just giving you the key or having you stay over as a friend, then they might get into trouble, not you. Michael Neundorfer, fact, Big Brother radar app is watching you on your vacation, plus 15 days after. Well, the way it actually works, Michael Neundorfer, is totally anonymous, and so that's not true. If you own your own apartment, I guess you don't need a test. No, you don't. It's not just about touching, it's spreading mainly via airborne saliva droplets from breathing, talking, etc. Of course, zero contact between people will eliminate it, but that's impossible. Canaries Explorer. You're exactly right. I think that what I'm trying to say is that if everybody aims to contact nobody, then we will be in a better place than if you carry on doing what you're doing. We're due out to stay at a friend's apartment, done that. Big brother, we've done that. Not about touching, we've done that. Airlines have been told to stop flying from the 5th of November to the 2nd of December, even Ryanair. Oh my golly gosh. Oh my golly gosh. Thanks for your info, Tim. Colin, you're very welcome. And I've got to go because it's 26 past and I've got to do something at half past. Why the bad comments, Tim's class? Thank you very much. Thank you for the information. Thanks for keeping the update. I'm going to see if anybody came in the room. I am so sorry if you did come in. Oh, nobody did. Okay, that's even better because now I can say ta-ra. So I do this channel because I love it and I think it's worthwhile, and it was a cathartic exercise for me and Christina to do this. So I do this for me, and that you enjoy it and you're part of it is fantastic. I welcome you all with open arms. If you want to tell me where I'm wrong, I've got loads of people that can tell me where I'm wrong. I don't need it, okay? So come and tell me I'm great, I'm fine. If you want constructive criticism, send me an email with your thoughts, not telling me where I'm wrong, but where you're right, and I'll listen. But just don't tell me where I'm wrong or do things like that. Life's too short to listen to that. And I like happy thoughts, just like happy thoughts. Okay, and now I don't drink anymore. I've got nowhere to go if I feel down. Okay, what else have I got? I got nothing, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much to everybody. Thanks to those who commented. Thanks for those who contributed. And if you want to contribute, don't forget you can go to timothydowd.com and press the sponsor button to contribute once, or you can go to the mic pool and contribute to the microphone there. I've ordered it already, but you can still contribute there if you want. And that will be fantastic. And anybody who does contribute in either of those cases, or if they've contributed here, if I can get your email address, I'll stick you on a list and we'll be informing you that we're going to do a special video for you guys. And oh, it's 28, I gotta go. Christina needs me to turn the TV onto her spot and sit her up in the chair, so I've got loads of work to do. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.